Perfect. Well, let me just start by welcoming everybody. This is our kind of like pre-event kickoff. This is where I invited Sydney in to help us start to weave together the community and help us start to get to know each other. And Sydney is someone who I look up to. I consider her a friend, and she's someone who is really committed to her own like growth and learning, and also to kind of living the kind of world that she wants to live in with integrity and care for others and care for the earth and humor and play. And she does so many things. I'll let her tell you more about herself because she has a lot of skills and talents besides authentic relating games. And I want to remind everybody that all of our sessions have, or most of them, I think there's one that doesn't have stretch and movement breaks associated with them. But then the following session, most of the time is on a different Zoom link. So we'll be letting you know, and you can see it in the schedule as well at our home base, kind of the event space there on the Kalapa website. So welcome again, everybody, and take it away, Sydney.
Thank you, Alan. Welcome, everyone. It's really sweet to see all of your faces. I do not know most of you, and I assume that a lot of you do not know each other. So I'm really grateful that you're here showing up to be together right now. And I want to invite you, as I'm speaking a little bit about this session, I want to invite you to write into the chat on our Zoom just where you're calling from. I feel curious to know what part of the world you're in. So if you just type that in, that would be great so all of us can see where, like, how we're all connecting in this web of the world. So my name is Sydney. I teach authentic relating courses, and what that means is I hold a value in learning skills and practices and sharing them in order to cultivate deep connection and intimacy and to change the context of how we are all relating to each other. And for me, that's very important because it opens just the potential for a different way of being in relationship and exploring what even does it mean to be in relationship with each other. So just scrolling through, look at all of where we've got a lot of the United States. We have Romania, the UK, Hawaii. Welcome everyone from all over the world. So as I said, authentic relating is something that's going to be part of this weekend, and it's a little bit hard to talk about. What I find with authentic relating practice is that it's more of a practice than it is like these concepts that live in the brain. So you'll get to experience several different authentic relating facilitators in sessions throughout this weekend, and my hope for that is that you'll really be able to see the breadth of what's possible with these practices as a framework for connection. So I personally teach courses through an organization called Art International, but there are a number of different lineages and practices of authentic relating all over the world. So a lot of different flavors, and this session is really intended to just be a kind of foundational, like, let's see what's here, let's play with what's here. Taking a breath, just remembering to slow down, to connect to my body. So before we begin diving into connection with each other, I really want to invite a few minutes to connect to yourself. So I encourage you to kind of turn your attention away from your screen, whether that's just through closing your eyes or lowering your gaze or turning your physical body. Taking these moments in arriving to this session to gift yourself your full attention. And in doing this, notice what it's like to be you right now. Notice how your body is making contact with the chair or the ground. And see if you can sink into that contact a little bit more. Arriving more fully into your body. Take some breaths here. Notice what your breathing does to your connection with self. And I invite you to give yourself a full welcome. What would it be like in this moment to say hello to more of you? To include parts of you that maybe are hiding or don't want your attention. Maybe parts of you that are speaking loudly or quietly. What is it like to say hello to more of your experience? To gift yourself a welcome and know that whatever experience you are having right now in your body, in your feelings, and your emotions, that experience is welcome. We as a group, as a community, are not complete without your full experience. Take a deep breath and start to slowly, at your own pace, expand your awareness to include the room that you're in, the space where you reside. To include my voice, including all that is outside of you. Notice what that's like. And ever so slowly, bringing light into your eyes if you have them closed. And start to bring your attention to this screen, all of our faces here. Maybe scan each one of the faces and notice what it's like for you to take us all in. And my invitation to you throughout this session and throughout this weekend is, as we are in connection with each other, can you stay connected to yourself? Let's take a deep breath. I'm going to give a little stretch. And in just a moment, I'm going to send you into a little breakout room and I'll give more instruction around that. But before I do that, I would love if y'all would unmute yourself and just popcorn, just say a word or two that describes the experience you're having right now. And we can just do this organically, just unmute yourself. It's okay if all of our shares overlap.
Psychedelic.
Anticipation.
Exciting.
Curious, headachy.
Connected.
Peaceful.
Joyous.
Doubtful.
At home.
Excited.
Open.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. A lot of different types of experience present here. And as I said, it's all welcome, it's all necessary. So there are a lot of different tools and tips. I'm echoing a little bit. I'm just going to put in my headphones really quick. Can y'all hear me okay? Is this good? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Yep. Okay, great. So there are a bunch of different tools and practices in the realm of authentic relating. And I would say one of the most important ones is the practice of noticing. Simply noticing, bringing awareness to what is here, what is present, what is living in us, what is living in our experience and our interactions. So I'm going to put you into a breakout room with one other person. And in this room, we're just going to have a few minutes together to practice this skill of noticing. And how this will look is that one person will start. I'll say the person with the shortest hair. You'll be the first to go. And when you get there, you'll just take a moment to be with each other. Just take a breath, be in silence together. And whoever's beginning, you will share, being with you, I notice. So what are you noticing? So I want to invite you to notice what you're noticing about your own experience, about sensations in your body, about your thoughts and feelings. So you'll share, what do you notice about your experience in connection with this person? They may be a stranger completely. You may know them really well. That doesn't matter. So you'll say, being with you, I notice. And you'll name what you're noticing. Being with you, I notice my heart is racing. Being with you, I notice I'm sweating, whatever it is. And then the other person will respond, hearing that, I notice. So then they will respond, hearing that, I'm noticing my cheeks are really tingly, or whatever it is that you're noticing. So for a few minutes, you'll just go back and forth. Hearing that, I notice. Hearing that, I notice. Hearing that, I notice. So you're really speaking to the experience you're having being with this person. Any questions? Yeah, Alan, go ahead.
Let's say that somebody in here would prefer to not participate, or maybe they have little kids or something's going on that gets in the way of them participating. I'm guessing you have a solution for that, or if I have a suggestion if you would like one too.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for bringing that up, Alan. I highly emphasize honoring self and honoring other. So whatever honoring self looks like, you do not have to participate in anything I'm suggesting. You can always sit it out. You don't have to join the breakout room, et cetera, et cetera. And I'd really just encourage doing whatever type of adaptation you need to do to take care of yourself. Yeah,
If
Alan.
if I find myself in a breakout room by myself, but I do want to participate, but somebody isn't playing or doesn't, what would you like me to do?
Is anyone not wanting to participate in this exercise? Because I can design the breakout rooms to accommodate that. And also, if you find yourself in a breakout room with no one, you can always leave the room and I will reassign you to one that is available. Does that make sense? Okay, Tess, I see your message. Thanks.
Oh, okay.
You could probably leave the technical staff out of them as well. And I don't know if that was already pretty much understood, but just in case.
Okay.
Hey, Sydney, one of our other facilitators suggested that if people don't want to be in the breakouts, they can rename themselves in Zoom with an equal sign at the beginning of their name. And then when you do the breakouts, that sorts people easily, and then you don't put people with the equal sign in the breakouts. You leave them
I
in
love
the
that. I think that's a fantastic idea.
And the way you rename yourself,
if you do not know how to, wait, go ahead,
I was
Alan.
going to tell people how to rename themselves.
Perfect.
That would be helpful. You look at your little square where your picture is, and you float your cursor above the 3 dots in the upper right corner. And then you'll see the option to rename. And you'll see that, for example, I just put an equal sign in front of my name. But,
oh yeah.
But I do want to participate, so I'm going to take that out. Okay.
Great.
Thanks, Sydney.
All right. So again, when you get into your room, just take a moment in silence. The person with the short hair will begin. Being with you, I notice.
Actually, sorry, before you open the breakouts, there's a request in the Zoom about the recording. The breakout rooms are not being recorded. The main room is being recorded, and we're preserving the recording for other participants in the weekend. So if you miss a session, you'll be able to come back and watch the recording. But beyond that, we don't have any other specific plans with the recording. And if we plan to use a recording that you're in some way, we will find you to get your permission or not. And then we'll either use it or not, but it would always be with consent. So I just want to reassure people that that's part of the promise here. Thank you, Sydney.
Thanks, Al. Okay, yeah. Tess, gotcha. Heard. All right, so I'm going to send you to your rooms and I'll prompt you. I'll just prompt what I just said. Being with you, I notice. You're noticing your own experience here, what it's like in your experience being with this person. And then the other person will respond, hearing that, I notice. And I will prompt you to when we're coming out of the room. Have fun.
Sorry, can I just ask how long
Absolutely.
we're going to be?
I think it'll be just probably about 2.5 minutes.
Each person or total?
We'll just be going back and forth.
Okay.
Total. Yep. Alrighty. You're good here. So the first prompt is, if you really knew me, you would know. And then we're going to do more, but I'll bring you back into the full group to introduce the next one. All right, here we go. You'll have probably a 3 to 4 minutes to do this. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Noticing some smiles here. I hope that was some type of experience for you. So I want to send you right back into your breakout room with a different prompt. And I have this assumption that some of y'all are, ready to go deeper. And me as a facilitator, I really like to just I kind of like to push the edges and just go there. So I'm going to invite y'all to go there in this next prompt. And of course, this is always a reminder to take care of yourself and only go as far as you feel safe, like full permission to honor yourself and not participate and only share what feels good for you. So this next prompt, you'll do the same exact thing. You'll just pass it around the circle. This next prompt is something I'm afraid or ashamed to share with you is. Something I'm afraid or ashamed to share with you is. So again, choose who will go first and you'll pass this around. Any questions about this one? Welcome back, everyone. I feel curious. I, again, just want to open up the floor for a few shares. I feel curious how this is going for you, how these prompts have been, what has come up. If you'd like to share, just feel free to unmute yourself and share something with the group.
Hey, this is Serena. I just jumped in from, the wild big world elsewhere, and I was scared to even jump in. So it was kind of an easy prompt in that just the prompt itself was scary, but also really appreciated it for the high sensation experience in particular, because I've been tuning into high sensation experiences and really appreciating leaning into them. So that was really cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, thanks for just being willing to step in and roll with it.
I really appreciated being in a space of open, deep sharing with others and of receiving their openness. It was a gift and felt really filling to me.
Awesome.
I'm going to have to bow out, and part of it is related to my sharing. I just shared a huge thing that I haven't really talked about with people about my career and where I'm at with it. And I have to see a client at 11, and I need to get back into a space where I could be present for them.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Total respect and honor for you, Bonnie. Thank you for taking care of yourself.
Thanks.
It's so good to see you, Bonnie.
Great to see you two all.
Bye,
Yeah.
Bonnie. Okay. So we have about 13 minutes left of our session, and yeah, I'm desiring to stay in the full group and wanting to just honor all of y'all. I just invited you to share a prompt that could have been, potentially bringing up some stuff in you. So I'm just recognizing that, and in service of Bonnie's beautiful example, like full invitation to take care of yourself. And I want to therefore use these remaining 13 minutes to put us in a different breakout room with just 3 people. And Tess, I see all the direct messages. I will honor this. Yes, thank you. I've made a mistake with breakout rooms, so I'm just wanting to own that. And I'm gonna put you into a room and give you another prompt. So a little bit of a smaller room. And I want this round to be a continuation of this practice of revealing ourselves. But the prompts this time are gonna be more centered around what you need and what is nourishing, what is resourcing. Especially going into this full weekend. We all have a full weekend ahead of us. And so I want to invite you to establish a foundation of what is resourcing and nourishing enough so that we can continue to step into what might be uncomfortable and vulnerable. So I will say more. I'm just going to create the rooms really quick. I need to.
You don't have to be really fast. Take
Thank
your
you. Thank you. Yeah, it's always a sort of practice to like this in between space, navigating our Zoom world. You know, usually I'm facilitating these practices in person, and so it's such an adaptation that so many of us have been in this year with trying to learn how to be in practice and connection through these little 2D squares here. Okay, so we have groups of 3 and one group of 4, it looks like. Okay, great. So for this next round, you'll be in different groups. And the prompt that I want to give you, let me see. For 1 second. Okay, the prompt I want to give you is a way that I can support myself throughout this weekend is. A way that I can support myself this weekend. And that might be to ask for support. But really encouraging you to share, like, how can you be in support of yourself? What do you need to be able to take care of yourself fully? Any questions? In the same format as the last room, we'll just be passing this around. All right, y'all, we have 5 minutes left. I want to send you in one final little, that same room, but just with one final prompt. It'll be a pretty quick one. So, and the prompt is something I appreciate about myself is. Something I appreciate about myself is, or something I love about myself is. So just really gifting yourself that self-reflection, that you're doing a good job. What is that way that you can show others what you appreciate about yourself? Okay, going back in. Okay, welcome back, everyone. So we're basically done with our session. I know that those last 2 rounds were probably pretty quick. I hope that all of y'all at least got to share one time. If you didn't, I apologize. And 1 hour is not enough time. I'm noticing that in myself. I'm like, oh, there's more that I want to invite y'all into. So yeah, if you have to leave, go ahead. I'd like to, yeah, absolutely. If you have to leave immediately at any time, leave. But I'd like to open up the floor for some group sharing, and I am happy to stay for a few minutes past the hour if anyone else would like to do that. And I'd love to hear from you. What has this been like? I'd love to speak a little bit more about authentic relating. So if anyone has anything to share about your experience here on this call, I'd love to open up that space.
I'd like to answer some of the questions that are coming up in the chat.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Alan.
Okay. Yeah, typically the next session would be in a different, it's a different Zoom link. So you just go back to the event space. I just have it open in my browser window. So you can just go back and click on the next one. However, our facilitator for the next section, which is actually our opening ceremony, is here in this session. And she's also our MC for the day and had offered to facilitate the movement and stretch sessions. So I'm not sure. She also has an equal sign in front of her name. So I'm not sure if Susan is actually here now to ask her.
Yeah, I'm here and it's all good. You know, like the thing about the movement is just that everybody is, you know, we've been sitting for a while. And so just to be able to move and all like that. So if you're feeling antsy, you can always stand up and spend a little bit more time speaking with Sydney and just, you know, doing what's necessary. So I'm good.
Okay, so we'll give Sydney some more time and then she'll hand it over to you and then we'll all go over to the other room.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm grateful for you, Susan, for saying that. And I just want to say these practices, authentic relating practice, and this practice of noticing and revealing and
whatever else we do, whatever else your experience, all of these practices live in the body. And I really just want to emphasize that, especially in a Zoom space, especially in this virtual world that like can get really like here. So just always remembering, like, we started this session with a connection to self and connection to our bodies. So just continued invitation to honor that. Yeah, Angela, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say I feel just so touched by this, and I had this sense about this conference that it was going to be a real sense of tribe for me, just an intuitive sense, and just the way you facilitated, Sydney and Alan, your support. I feel a deep connection just with all of who I am, what I've studied, and just really grateful. Thank you so much, and with all the people I connected with.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I feel curious. Is there anything like lingering that just wants to be said in this space before we officially close our authentic relating portion? Yeah, Alan, what's up?
I want to hear from other people, but I also wanted to say that one of the things that came up in our breakouts was one person, the way they could support themselves was eating. And then I pulled out my breakfast and I started eating, and they're like, oh my gosh, like that gives me permission to eat on the screen. And so I'm gonna be like, please give yourself permission to do whatever you need to do. So I stood up, I started moving, I'm eating. It's like, it's a gathering, it's a party. It's like, just take care of yourself. We're good.
Yep.
That's all.
Absolutely. Any final shares? I'd love to just officially close us out in some way, unless someone has a burning share, just a reflection from their experience in this session.
I would love to hear from a couple people.
Me too.
It was a really beautiful session, especially we started with that and we feel like very, very good, and it's kind of a good starter. And I must say, the first time I saw Sydney, it was really nice the way you talk and you facilitated us. It's so mindful. I want to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
I was surprised how deeply just the first question in 2 minutes with the simple question, you could go quite deep, and I really enjoyed that. Just the whole framing of it. Thank you.
Yeah, I have personally been really blown away by what's possible through simple prompts, simple practice. And an hour is a very short time to explore this practice. This practice is very extensive, and I imagine a lot of what we're doing this weekend will be similar, like just a little taste, a little toe dip into what's possible. So I fully welcome you all. If you ever want to know more about authentic relating or know how to get more involved, I have a lot of resources to offer and share, and just a big community around these practices. So please reach out to me. Let's be in conversation, and I will likely see you all in our sessions throughout the weekend. So thank you, thank you, thank you. In official closing, in the spirit of official closing, I again want to invite you all to unmute yourself and to just popcorn like some words or a sound or something, like some way that you're just leaving this session with.
Me.
Yay!
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I'm going to give myself a hug because I can't give y'all hugs.
Right? Yeah.